Well, hello there. A couple of weeks or so ago, I uploaded a video showing some of my CD Bargoons, inspired by Doc Doccus. I don't know if you ever caught Doc Doccus's channel. He likes showing us his bargoons, Canadian slang apparently for bargain. So I thought, well, I'll do a CD Bargoon video, and I'm going to follow that one up now with a vinyl bargoon. Okay, so these are mainly from charity shop, thrift shop type of places, going back maybe 7 years or so. There's quite a few, handful. I just thought I'd dig through my collection and see what I could find, and show you my bargoons. Yeah, most of them are up to about £4, I think, £3, £4, £5. Charity shops are okay if you want to find some vinyl, but now and again they do seem to charge a little bit too much. I don't think they quite realise the value. You know, condition is key, as we all know. One example was Michael Jackson's Thriller. Found that one a few years ago, but it was £10, and the cover was all split, all the glue had come undone. The vinyl itself looked like somebody had gone in the backyard and thrown it around for about 5 hours. Stuffed it back in the into the sleeve. It was just falling apart. It wasn't worth nothing, but they got £10 on this. So I thought, come on, you got to play fair here, really. You know, had it been pristine condition, at £10 probably too much. But hey, who am I to say? Anyway, enough of my rabbiting on. We'll start, and here we go. Their Lives. That's a little one. It's a 10-inch vinyl on the Brunswick label. I thought that's got to be worth a punt. I saw this one, I thought, oh, got to go for that one. It's got a big rock candy mounting on it, so that was a favourite of mine as a kid. So it's now in my collection, a 10-inch. Next one, Julian Bream on the lute, playing Dowland. John Dowland is from about 1500 to 1600, and quite a long time ago. He isn't from that time, but he's given his interpretation on the lute of some of Dowland's compositions. And this again was a punt. It's a mono, his master's voice, still got the original in the sleeve. It's in nice condition. So that was worth a punt. Again, had to be cleaned up a little bit, a few crackles, but the vinyl itself is in nice shape. Sleeve's not too bad. So I was pleasantly surprised with that one. Moving on a little bit more up to date, I suppose. If 1970s is up to date, Roxy music, the greatest hits. This covers just the vintage Virginia Plain era, Love is the Drug, Street Life, the Blue Pajama Army. Virginia Plain, I just love that one. Got a few Roxy music vinyls, the early stuff, the first couple of albums I've got, fantastic. So I was pleased to get that one, didn't pay too much, that was about £1 I think, too bad. Right, moving on, Steel Eye Span. Now We Are Six, UK folk band. All Around My Hat was they did for them, in Gaudete, on the Chrysalis label. Happy to get this one. How can you always struggle getting things back in when you want to be quick? Right, so in she goes. Next one I consider to be a bit of a bargain. It's Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. It's an original 60s edition, orange CBS label in the original sleeve. I was pleased to get this. I haven't got many Bob Dylan 60s albums. I've got a few of the CDs, but not many of the albums, the original 60s albums. got the flip back cover there, so that was about £4, so I was happy with that one. Now the next one is an absolute bargain. This one cost me 50p. Paint Your Wagon. Paint Your Wagon. Soundtrack. Lee Marvin, Clint Eastwood. I was born under a wandering star. Ah, that's the one. Right, moving on. Another favourite of mine, Kate Bush, Never Forever. Got this one fairly cheap. Got a few Kate Bush albums, but for some reason I never got this back in the day. Got a few of the early stuff and some of the later stuff and some in between. But this is great, Babushka. It's a great song. So yeah, that was a good one to get. Dave Edmunds, Repeat When Necessary. This is a good album. I did pay £5 for this one, but I thought that's worth a fiver. Girls Talk, Crawling from the Wreckage. Yeah. Was this? I think this got Nick Lowe. Yeah, possibly produced this one. Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. Well, what's that? 1979-ish, 1980. Good period for music, that was. Right, back to the 60s with Georgie Fame and the Hall of Fame. This is an original 60s mono. Original sleeve. There's Revolver. What else have we got? Let's just speak of the Hollies, the Yardbirds, another Beatles one there, Beatles oldies. This one's on the Columbia label. This was a nice one to get. I remember liking Georgie Fame as a kid. You know, there was a couple of 60s hits. Yeah, yeah. The other one was Get Away, wasn't it? Get Away, yeah. Yes, I was happy to get that one too. Happy to get all of these. Right, coming a bit more up to date now. We're in the 90s now, 1992. We know what this one is, don't we, people? Nirvana. Nevermind. I love Nirvana. Original sleeve. Now, when this first came out, I actually bought this when it came out on cassette, because I'd not heard them at the time, and I thought, well, the cassette was cheaper than the vinyl, so I bought the cassette, and a week later I was thinking, I wished I'd bought the vinyl now, because I absolutely love this album, and I've managed to get all the others afterwards too, and before. This was the third album, maybe, I can't remember now, gone blank. This little baby's a fully grown man now. Whew. Right, another band now coming up, which I've never really taken that much notice of, and that's the Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. They never really did much for me, the Moody Blues. I was sort of aware of them. I think maybe at the time I thought they didn't look too cool, I don't know. Well, Nights in White Satin is on this one. Which is a great song, but really, you know, these songs, you've heard them that many times. You think, well, do I really need to hear it at Night in White Satin again? But I saw this one, and this was a couple of pounds, so I thought, I'll check this one out. And it's okay. Yeah, I like this one. Good. Right, we're back in the 60s again. This is another original, The Seekers. Come the Day. This is a stereo. So that again, original sleeve, inner sleeve, poly sleeve, Columbia label. The Seekers. There's any big songs on this one? I can't quite remember. Georgie Girl. That was the one. Georgie Girl. Remember that one when I was a kid in the 60s, about 1967. Georgie Girl. Title music from a film, if I remember rightly. Right. Bronski Beat. We're in the 80s now. The Age of Consent. This was a good one. Small Town Boy, that was a great song, and also Why. Ain't Necessarily So, that's another one. This is a good one. Jimmy Somerville was a singer on this one. Fantastic high-pitched singer, but he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, wore the original sleeve, an inner sleeve. Next, back to the 60s. Simon and Garfunkel. Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme. Never really bought too many. I bought Bridge Over Troubled Water when that first came out, but apart from that, nothing. I saw this, thought, well, this is going to be worth a go. The Scarborough Fair. What else have we? For Emily, Whenever I May Find Her. Remember that one? Yeah, that's good. 59th Street Bridge song, Feeling Groovy. Yeah, so I was happy with that one. Well, this is on CBS. Again, it's probably not the sleeve. It's not the original sleeve from when this came out, because it is advertising the other Simon and Garfunkel albums, Bridge Over Troubled Water. So really, this is probably repressed from 1970 or thereabouts, or 1970 plus. It's on the orange CBS label. Could be 71, 72, maybe. I think it did come out in the 1960s. Right. Another one. Another Simon and Garfunkel. This is Bookends. The one that does it for me on this album is America. I absolutely love that album. It's one of my favourite songs of all time, America. It just paints the picture of somebody on the bus driving through America. It really does set the tone. On the back, we've got some advertisements. The Graduate, Sounds of Silence album, Paul Simon, and it's also advertising the one I've just been talking about. So again, this is probably not from the day. Probably a repress. Oh, it is a repress. You can tell by the label there. I think it's 1968 originally, but this is a 70s reissue. But it's okay for me. You know, I'm not collecting originals all the time. I do like to play an album for the songs, not because it may be original. It's nice to have. Right, back to the late 70s now. Soft Cell, Non-Stop, Erotic Cabaret, Mark Almond and Dave Ball. Say Hello and Wave Goodbye and Tainted Love and Bedsitter. 3 big songs from that one. These are great. Absolutely love them. Next, from the 80s, early 80s, we have Duran Duran, Rio. Some good songs on this one. Save a Prayer, that was a good single, and Rio itself. Now, I remember buying this. This one was 50p. I was on holiday in Cornwall, in Perranporth. Picked that one up. Remember that one. In actual fact, got that one at the same time. So I did well. 2 for £1. Can't go wrong with that. Now, speaking of Cornwall, I got that one in Cornwall too. The Carpenters, Close to You. And this, folks, was 50p. Absolute bargain on the A&M label. I love the Carpenters. It's my guilty pleasure. But really, if you like them, it's not really guilty, is it? Really, you know. It's, perhaps sometimes you don't like to admit to the next company what you like, but don't bother me these days. I like the Carpenters. I just tell people I don't care. So yeah, so that one, we've only just begun. That's a great one. Reason to Believe. There's a Beatles song, Help, Close to You. Baby It's You, the Beatles did that one too. Yeah. Great. Right, I've got a compilation album here, Me and the Devil. It's a blues compilation. I'll show you the tracks on there. It's got Tony McPhee, who's part of the Groundhogs. If anybody knows the Groundhogs, check them out. They've got a great album called Split, and also another one, Thank Christ for the Bomb. There's a few good albums by the Groundhogs. I saw the Groundhogs live, one of the first bands I ever saw, very early 70s. But this is a nice compilation. That's Tony McPhee there, and so he is now in the Groundhogs. But this is a good blues album, a good collection. Now, the last two now just come up, just by chance, and no order. Harry Nilsson, The Point. Again, I've got no Harry Nilsson albums, well I have now, but this was a first for me. I think this was a bit of a, was this a cartoon or from the Orange label, RCA label? I think it was a cartoon, if I remember rightly. And this was the theme music. What's the point? Right, last but not no means least, we've got another Harry Nilsson one, simply called Harry. This has got the Puppy song on, which I think the Monkees did that one. Also got Mother Nature's Son. Yeah. Mr. Bojangles, Simon Smith, The Amazing Dancing Bear. Yeah, so this was another one I like. I was happy to find on the Orange RCA label. 69 originally, but this is probably a repress. But who cares? I don't care. So there we have it, folks. A bunch of Vinyl Bargoons. So we'll sign off now and say thank you for checking by. And how many of you made it to the end of the video, I wonder. Nice collection there. Okay, folks, so we'll say bye-bye for now, and I'll leave you with Harry. Thanks and bye-bye.